I feel like every year he has one play where he just absolutely makes it worth it for us.
Yeah.
Like the Duncan Keith hit.
Yep. Hello and welcome to the What the Nuck podcast, the podcast for Canucks fans. I'm your host, Roddy, alongside my good friend and co-host, Gunmir Bahia. Well, Mr. Bahia, the Vancouver Canucks are still first in the league. They had 3 games this week, and we're going to get right into it here and start off with the end of the road trip where they fell to the Columbus Blue Jackets to a 4-3 shootout loss. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but traveling out of Buffalo for Vancouver became a little hairy, as we talked about in the last podcast. So after the Buffalo game, Vancouver was supposed to fly straight to Columbus and get there at a reasonable time. Unfortunately, with the blizzards and stuff in Buffalo, they had to bus from Buffalo to Toronto and then fly from Toronto to Columbus. So they didn't get in till about, I believe it was like 8 or 10 p.m. around that time. And, it's just the end of the road trip. Obviously, you would like a win against Columbus, but the fact that the boys, and shout out to Casey DeSmith, got a point out of this game, you can't be mad with a 5-1-1 road trip.
Yeah, I don't know how well they could prepare for a 10 a.m. game as well, which is just insane. Especially,
Exactly.
yeah, coming in late and everything like that. So I got to miss the game because it's not
Hmm.
a holiday in Canada. I don't know
Yeah.
why America chose that, but it's fine. So with 10 a.m. game, you can tell me all about it because I don't watch Columbus games. I know Elvis had a little interesting time.
Yeah. No, he, well, yeah, we'll quickly recap this one. Honestly, Vancouver had their legs in this game from when I got to see the recap because I missed it as well. But yeah, like Miller gets a goal. They kind of trade off a little bit. Columbus ties it up. And yeah, it was just a seesaw game the whole way through. Canucks had their legs though, pretty much up until the third period where the wheels started to fall off. But yeah, we got goals from Miller, his 20th of the year, Garland, and then Pettersson, who got his 23rd. And what a road trip for Pettersson. 8 goals on a 7-game road
Yeah.
trip. That's incredible in itself. And yeah, like I said, like the wheels kind of came off and you could just tell that they were tired. Voronkov ends up getting his second of the game, tying it up in the third. They go to 4 rounds in the shootout, and Marchenko gets the shootout winner. Now, if you're Rick Tocchet, got a question
Yeah.
for you here, okay? You've chosen Kuzmenko, which I agree with. People were like not up. People were upset about that pick in the shootout because they're like, "Oh, Kuzmenko hasn't been going." Kuzmenko had an amazing overtime. You should rewatch the overtime because he was a man possessed. He almost scored 3 times. Kuzmenko misses though. Then we go to JT Miller, who does his patented super slow backhand. They all tried to go 5-hole, by the way. Each Vancouver Canuck went 5-hole. Didn't work, obviously. Then they went to Pettersson, who I'm like, this is a sure goal. Doesn't happen. And then their fourth shooter that they decide to go with is Pius Suter.
Stand by it.
You stand by it, really?
Stand by it. A shootout's an absolute mess. I don't care who you send out there.
Yeah.
It's the most random skills you need. Like like the top players sometimes can't score, and like these dog shit players can just absolutely pop off on the shootout. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if they just practice it more, but whoever they send out by the fourth round, I don't care. But especially when we're not really fighting for a point or anything like that.
Yeah, like I guess so. I just like you have Garland, who's been going for 2 months. You have Quinn Hughes, who's the shiftiest player in the NHL as far as defense is concerned, and you have Besser, who has 27 goals on the year. You're gonna pick
The only
Suter
time
over
I've ever
those two?
seen Hughes was that in that Islanders game where got sprung in OT and then scored.
Hughes
And
has also had a
then
penalty shot too.
what game did he have a penalty shot?
I believe it was last season. He scored on the backhand, from what I recall. I can't remember
Okay,
who it's
okay,
by
yeah.
though. But
All right, so maybe they should throw Quinn Hughes out there. Maybe they're just honestly tired of sending him out for 20 plus minutes and then making him just give him the day off on the shootout. Yeah, Pia Suter. I don't know why he sends him out, but it's fine. It's the shootout. I don't care.
yeah,
I don't like the shootout.
no, yeah. Honestly, yeah, that's a bigger issue to discuss in the future or something. But like the NHL, I've seen people they've been like clamoring for the NHL to go to like a 3-2-1 point system. Because there's teams like the Islanders who have like 10 overtime losses, and it's like they're tied with teams that have more regulation wins, and it's like you're not getting rewarded for being able to close out games now. So I think it's a good idea to at least, introduce potentially for a season to see how it goes. But yeah,
Maybe adds more urgency to the end of games as well. I know the
ex-
Leafs only got 14 regulation wins apparently in 44 games.
exactly. Yeah. So it's just like teams like that go to like, yeah, overtime and shootout, like you're only getting 2-1 points, and it rewards teams like Vancouver, who has, I believe Vancouver has 30 regulation wins on the year, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I think they just hit 30.
Yeah, because the Pittsburgh game was the only overtime win that the Canucks have this season. Yeah, and then again, like I said, shout out to Casey DeSmith in this game. He was the Canucks' first star for sure. He stopped 40 of, sorry, yeah, he stopped 40 of 43 shots that
It's an
Columbus threw at
absolute
him.
solid backup.
Oh yeah,
Gives you a chance every time, takes those little games. Yeah, I don't think he sold us this year, has he?
no,
We
not
had
really.
Spencer Martin and D'Elia sending us last year, but like DeSmith, he's put us in every game. There hasn't been a game where it's like, okay, well that's on DeSmith.
No, no, it's been truly incredible what he's been able to accomplish here. And yeah, like he, again, just to close out the road trip, obviously you'd like a win against Columbus, but you kind of have to give the Vancouver Canucks a mulligan on this one just because of the traveling issues, tail end of a road trip. Like, to be honest, Columbus fans, if this is in the middle of the road trip and it's like a Wednesday night and it's at a regular time at like 4 p.m., you're getting smoked 7-2, and there's no questions about that.
I think you'd be hard fought to first off find Columbus fans, then find Columbus fans that are listening to this pod, and then find Columbus fans that would disagree with that take. I think they're pretty done with their team. Like
Yeah.
Columbus doesn't have much left in the way of hope. I know they got sick prospects. I remember something or another. They got some. I can't even pronounce any of their names, but I know they have prospects coming up. But
Well,
it's Columbus.
one that you probably can pronounce in this game. I think he had 7 shots on goal. Cole Sillinger. I was listening to Rink Wide
Hmm.
after this game, and Jeff Patterson was just hyping up Cole Sillinger. And I mean, after I saw like the game too, I quickly realized like that kid's going to be amazing. He's only 20 years old. Like they have Kent Johnson too, Lower Mainland product as well. They got some stuff to be excited about. Adam Fantilli, but as
Oh
of
yeah,
right now,
yeah, they got so many. Yeah, I know
yeah.
they got defensive prospects too. I can't remember the exact name. I think it's Javid Jurassic. I'm gonna go with that.
Oh, like ear check or something.
Close enough. Abby's not here to yell. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that. But hey, you know what? I'll go with Jurassic. I like that. The one Columbus fan listening to this, you said his name wrong. Uh, anyways, yeah, no, just full props to Vancouver on this road trip, going 5-1-1, and beating the teams that like are competitive and the teams that you should be beating. They beat off. Sorry.
I would have let you get away with it.
No, no,
But
that's a
you
tough one. No, no, we're good. We're still on track here. But they beat the New Jersey Devils, the New York Rangers, and the New York Islanders, Buffalo and
yeah,
Pittsburgh as well, obviously. And
like I
Pittsburgh's no
mentioned last
slouch.
pod that our lost to an actual team, like an actual playoff team was New Jersey on December 5th.
Yeah,
So we've been rocking playoff teams. I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe we just take the night off against these less than ideal teams.
yeah,
Oh well, this one actually said the travel issues.
exactly. Yeah, but again, yeah, full props to Vancouver. And then yeah, they didn't play till Thursday. Where they faced off against the Arizona Coyotes. Low scoring game, 2-1 final, but I don't know about you. I really like the Canucks bite in this game. They showed that they can, fight some plugs named Liam O'Brien, and yeah, no, I thought they played a good full 60. There was a couple of hairy moments. Demko made some big saves, but I'll take this 2-1 game. They went into
I
the
think
muck with Arizona and they won.
Arizona's a playoff team too.
Yep,
I think we shit talk Arizona as the organization, but as an actual team, it's a good team. They
they've
got
had
good players, yeah. Clayton
surprising
Keller honestly
season.
deserves it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it would be really nice, in my opinion, to see them in a wild card spot this year. Don't know if that's going to happen with how much of a logjam there is there right now, and with the Oilers on
Yeah, it's
app.
kind of a mess.
Exactly. And with the Oilers being on fire this year, it's kind of tough to see them making it when a specific team like Vegas or LA is going to be falling into one of the wild card spots. So we'll have to see.
It's they'd be taking Nashville's spot if anything. I'm just looking right now at the standing. So Nashville's at 51 points and 46 games, and Arizona's 47 points and 44. So if they won their next two, they'd be tied with Nashville for the spot. They'd be
Yeah.
competing with teams like Calgary, Seattle, and Nashville. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the final four teams fighting.
Yeah, and we'll have to see. Like I said, out of all the wildcard teams, I think it would be cool to see for Arizona to have playoff games in Mullet Arena. It would just kind of stick it to, um, what happened with Tempe and being like, hey, like this can be a hockey team. They're not just a joke of a franchise, even though they kind of are at the moment still. But yeah, let's dig into this game here
Definitely.
quick. Yeah, so Pedersen, absolutely
No,
okay.
that play.
Somebody said, "Oh, I finally know what PDO means." And it means PD drills one because he hammers this shot as 1T, which is an absolute missile, man. It was one of the
Yeah.
nicest shots I think
What
I've
is
ever
it?
seen in my life.
It was just like a perfect face-off play too.
Yeah.
And like just right away to him, top of the slot. You're not stopping that. I was like top. I think they showed they did it last season as well. It was the
Yeah.
exact same play. Like he can just pick his corners. I remember that was always the thing too when we were talking about him. I remember you would specifically talk about this all the time because he got like 39 goals last year, something like that.
Yeah.
We talked about like, yeah, he could hit 50 and stuff like that. And you always talked about how many posts and crossbars he hits.
Mhm.
And like it's just this year he hasn't hit a lot.
No.
Not a lot since like not the ones where you would like honestly expect one every like 2 or 3 games he would hit.
Yeah.
But that's just it, like an inch the other way. And now that he's got what is he on pace for goals anyways? That was his 23rd?
That was his 24th of the year.
24th. Yeah, so he could still hit 50 if he turned it on.
He's quietly caught up to Besser in a big way. I mean, Besser every goal he scores right now is getting disallowed. So,
Yeah,
um,
honestly, that's been costly.
yeah. But yeah, no, he again PD drills one, and it's in the back of the net, 1-0 Vancouver. Also, quickly within this game, Sam Lafferty was on one. Like he was aggressive on the forecheck. I can't remember who he hit on the boards there, but hit someone, and it wasn't called as a penalty. It was just a clean hit, but it was on the numbers a little bit, I thought. Anyways, yeah, he had to answer the bell essentially with Liam O'Brien, but he didn't end up tossing the gloves. So O'Brien goes in, and that's when Pedersen scores. And then this guy, I don't know if you like watched the whole game there, but O'Brien just skating around, like talking to everybody on Vancouver, chirping everybody, like just trying to get something going for Arizona. Then he finally has to face the final boss in Nikita Zadorov, who, as a final
That was
boss,
the
is
choice.
pretty terrifying. And the fight was just so funny to watch, man, because Liam O'Brien's throwing everything he possibly can at Zadorov, and Zadorov's just like there, like a big babysitter, just like waiting for the kid to stop having his tantrum. And then he just started feeding him punches. Rogers Arena went ballistic.
Zadar is like, yeah, he's pretty much Myers sized, but he's actually willing to throw. Like Myers is like a gentle giant. He even when he fights, he doesn't just ragdoll or try to just toss the guy.
Mhm.
He'll just play a calm fight. But Zadorov, hell no. He's got that JT Miller in him.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about Myers in a little bit in the Toronto game. He wasn't a
Oh,
very gentle
definitely.
giant at the end there, but yeah. So again, this game was just, I thought, a solid showing from Vancouver. Again, Demko only allows the one on 21 shots. He makes 20 saves, 952 save percentage to close it off. Joshua gets a goal in this game, and oh my god, 12th goal of the year for this guy. I don't even know if we could re-sign him anymore come next season.
I think
Um,
it's pretty much out of the question now.
yeah, but he literally toe drags it like he's Datsuk. Like he
Yeah.
has time. He doesn't have a lot of time there, but the fact that he has the patience and the IQ to corral it and then like get it
He's
around Ingram's pad and then score, incredible.
he's always got great hands for like a third, fourth liner.
Yeah,
Like that's why I think because he had a stint with PD last season. I
yeah,
can't remember. It was PD and probably Kuzmenko. I think he was on that line,
yeah,
and it didn't work out or anything like that. But I understand why Talk put him up there
hmm,
because he does have surprisingly good hands,
yeah. No, he
like
really
especially
does.
in tight.
Yeah.
It was what game was it that he got tripped pretty much when he was going to go score? He was trying to pull it to his backhand. It was an empty net, and he got tripped. I
Uh,
can't remember why that just jumped in my head, but
yeah,
he's had a lot of like in tight, absolute nice moves to put it in.
yeah,
It's not just whack it in.
hmm,
He's actually getting to the spot and he's doing something to score. That's
yeah,
I don't know. That's why we're priced out of that guy. Like I think he's fourth because I sent that graphic on Twitter for
hmm,
points per cap hit,
yeah.
and we're not getting anything better. Like he's gone after this year,
Yeah.
sadly too.
And it's funny because I don't know if you remember this, but at the start of the year, Talkett was basically clamoring for this guy and saying that like he's gonna hit 20 goals or he can see Joshua hitting 20 goals. And honestly, I thought it was a ludicrous statement at the start, being like Joshua hitting 20 goals. That's just not happening. And he's at 12 right now. Like it could very well. It looks like it's happening the way that line's playing and going. So,
Yeah, remember he ate a couple scratches at the beginning of the season as well.
yep. No,
So
he's
good for Talkit to unlock that as well.
mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and then now we will switch on over to the big stage, as they call it. Vancouver Canucks
Ooh.
hosted the Toronto Maple Leafs last night, Saturday night. And yeah, Vancouver won.
Hockey night in Canada.
Yeah.
Might as well say
Ba
it.
ba da da da.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, ba 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 da ba. Anyways, yeah, Vancouver ends up winning this one 6-4. We don't get John Shorthouse on this game because we got to have Chris Cuthbert and it's a national broadcast, yada yada. This Gunveer is the difference between Edmonton, Toronto, and Vancouver. Okay, Vancouver didn't have their best stuff. They put 21 shots on Martin Jones. Demko gets absolutely shelled. 46
Oh yeah.
shots go against Demko, and he makes the saves that count. Mind you, he probably would like to have a couple of them back, but again, Demko makes the saves that he needs to, and the Canucks keep rolling. They win 6-4 in a game that was pretty spirited there halfway through the game.
Well, yeah. Well, the start of the game was enough. Yeah, we won't complain that Sportsnet screwed us over again and skipped
Nope.
the entire first period. Won't complain about it. But what is it? That our bottom six right there. Or I guess are we considering Garland our second line now? That's not really
Garland's
bottom six.
basically our third best forward as of late, to be honest. But yeah,
Net scoring. That was the big difference there.
yes. Yeah, we'll get right into it here quickly. Höglander was a man possessed at the start of this game. Shot from Hughes. Hughes was like moving really nicely on the blue line as he usually does. Threw a shot on net. Bunch of traffic in front, and Höglander, great effort just to like no look backhand shot goes in behind Martin Jones. 1-0 Vancouver right away. Then literally just under 3 minutes later, Höglander with the puck and absolutely snipes it short side on Martin Jones.
Yeah.
And it was just a shooter's shot, man. Goal scorer's goal. Like, it's funny because Höglander is usually pretty consistent in how he plays, I find, but um, he doesn't score every game. But when he does, and he had like unlocks potential like he did last night, he's a scary player, man. Like he's really good.
Someone said he's on pace for 30 goals. Like that is insane to me. Because like
That's
20
his.
goals from Hoggy is what we would have expected.
Yeah.
Like that would have been a great season for him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what shocked me. Just want to one thing about that first goal though was
Mm-hmm.
that fourth line. I think it was 50 seconds because they showed the timer
Yeah.
of ozone time
Mm-hmm.
with Roenick and Hughes,
Mm-hmm.
just rocking them. Just they put a couple shots on, kept to the outside, kept the puck away from them. And then Hughes obviously with the perfect shot and right to Hoglander who can bury it. Just loved that shift. Like that's just the team we are. Like I just remember there were so many years we couldn't just hold the puck for like a decent amount of time in the ozone.
Yeah.
And like we just didn't have the personnel for it. But like now it's like every line, that aggressive forecheck, just keep on going, bury them. Like we've played against teams like that, specifically Vegas, of course, that
Mm-hmm.
continuously that forecheck is like suffocating.
Yeah.
And now that we're that team, like it is beautiful to watch.
It is. No, no line takes a night off usually, and like right now with the way Vancouver's going, I mean,
There's
I
one
mean,
line that takes a night off.
yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, no, Kuzmenko, Suter, and Mikheyev, they're
Maheyev, as Taka called him a few times.
yeah, they're a little quiet as of late, but the other three lines are rolling, and at this point, just because of like the way everything is clicking, you kind of you just you hope that line figures it out eventually. Like, don't change anything because the other lines are killing it, and you just wait until that line figures it out. Because if that happens, you don't got to change a thing, except for getting Elias Lindholm or Jake Gensel.
I don't see that line figuring out, but we'll finish this game and then we can start going into our tangents.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So then, about 4 minutes later, so Garland gets a goal. Nice, really nice play. Garland's coming up the left side and he banks a pass to Dakota Joshua. Joshua feathers it over. Bluger just misses. But then, like the way Bluger tipped it, it's like in the corner. They get it back to Garland. Martin Jones is way out of his net to the left, and then Garland just snipes a shot. It's 3-0 Canucks in the first period, and they're off to a hot start.
Yep. That was perfect. Perfect start. And then we started watching.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. So we missed all the really fun stuff at the start. And yeah, then Sportsnet decided to show us what the Leafs can do in the second period. And you know, it's so funny. We were watching this game last night together, and what's it? Kelly Rudy. Kelly Rudy was talking. It was like he knew. It was like he had like, you know, the season 6 finale of like of this Canucks game against the Leafs, and he was saying, "Oh, Nylander could be a dangerous guy. He can get 2 goals and 1 assist and put you right back in the game." And needless to say, Nylander got 2 goals in this period, and they ended up tying it 3-3. Again, yeah, Nylander scores the
yeah,
first one, then McCabe, and then it goes to Nylander again. The third, or sorry, the second Nylander goal, the tying goal for the Leafs, goes off a Carson Soucy stick. There were a couple of goals in there where I thought Demko maybe could have had them. Again, I can't complain because he did backstop us to another win, but yeah, there was just a few
yeah. With 46 shots though, you're allowed a couple squeakers.
for sure. Yeah, and it went off a Carson Soucy stick, like I said, so like that one
Well, that
wasn't
one,
as
yeah,
bad. But yeah, and then it's just a couple guys getting a bunch of pairs of goals in this game because Nylander had 2, Höglander had 2, and then Connor Garland decided that he wanted to as well. He picks up his second of the night, 8th of the year, assisted by none other than Teddy Bluger.
whoa,
Yep. And then third period hits, and again, it was just a really. This is where it kind of started to get a little concerning because both of these teams have so much firepower, and Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares, Riley, Tuar, Pedersen, Miller, um, Garland, Höglander, Besser. Like it just there's a lot of guys that can score.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I think the big difference in this game, obviously, is goaltending though.
it is for sure. Yeah, I think that's
Goaltending in depth, and I think that showed.
yeah, yeah. Marner got a shorthanded goal, his 20th of the year, and then Miller clapped back with his 21st of the year. On a power play, and then Canucks get another power play goal where Pedersen rocks his 25th of the year. So he's now 2 goals behind Besser. So, yeah,
Yeah, for the team lead. Couple of
um,
40 goal scores this year.
we just might get it, man. And this team is actually, I don't know if you saw this, but this team has a better record at this point in its season than the 2011 team did.
Yeah, I think we're on pace for 117.6 ish, and
Y-
so
Yeah, yeah,
we're very strong here.
yeah,
I know people are starting to believe too, reading the Athletic and stuff like that.
yeah. We're like
It just
first on their power rankings. Dom finally,
we were first. They took us off, I think, but
oh,
it's just even like I think they do like prediction series and stuff like that as well.
hmm
And they're not giving us like we're gonna win the cup or anything like that. But there's a little bit of respect coming our way. It's not
yeah.
just this team's regressing. At this point, like especially when you watch the team, I just think we just put on a lot of great shots. I think
If
that's just
you,
always been our team thing. Like if you Carlin, Bluger, and Joshua, the
Carlin,
thing is,
did you
what did
say
I call him?
Did you say Carlin?
Carlin. I think you're hearing Carlin because you want me to call him Corolla Garland. But like that line specifically, and then obviously the Lotto line, they got nice passing plays, man. Like
Yeah,
when the shots just from the faceoff dot, because that's what like it looks like. It's on like on the analytics. It's not just a shot from the faceoff dot. It's like a 6 straight passes, absolutely picking apart the defense, and then just having an empty net for a guy.
yeah.
Like it's all high danger. That like those 2 lines specifically, they're getting a lot of high danger every time.
Oh, exactly. And they just dog the puck like that. Like what you're talking about with like this game, like the fourth line goes to work, like Hoglander, Amon, and Lafferty. They go to work. They hem in like the Leafs line, and then like Garland's line can do that. And honestly, ever since the Lotto line's been together, they've been hemming in teams too, which makes sense because you put out Miller, Besser, and Pedersen, and then on top of that, you have like a Hughes Ronick pairing behind them. You're going to be keeping the puck in the offensive zone for quite some time.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Again, 3/4 of your lineup is absolutely destroying it as far as the forwards are concerned. Um, I thought Kuzmenko, Suter, and McKay had a couple of okay shifts in there, but they do have to start pulling the weight a little bit more. Or again, this is the thing: this lineup's working. You have to stick with it. You shouldn't be, you shouldn't be jumbling things up unless things start falling off the rails a bit. And it's working. So until
That is the thing. I do believe, but I still stand by that we're gonna need to get our top 6 and split that up.
oh, for
I like
sure,
keeping that as our third line, but I think we need that two like Miller, Besser, and then in my dreams, PD and Gensel.
Yeah.
I think PD with an actual elite talent, and then Miller Besser rocking and how they are, and then having that second guy. I think I spoke about how like a lot of top teams do that.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto, Tampa, Boston was splitting up their top lines. I don't think I think McKinnon and Rantanen play together, and then who's their second line is just like Ryan Johansson and Nichushkin, who's gone now. So
Yeah.
there's some teams that just I don't know too many teams that stack their top three guys just the entire time.
Yeah.
McDavid and Draisaitl obviously split up as well. So I do want at some point a split up. I would love if our third line could actually be the third line, and then we could
Mm-hmm.
have just a first and second. And then I think that would help with Kuzmenko too. Like PD, it's not going to be Gensel, honestly. They're not probably not trading him. And then Kuzmenko, like a really skilled forward with them. I think
Yeah.
that would help out because Kuzmenko, that one line, there's no guy that's driving the line on that. It's not.
Right.
There's no. That is
Nobody's a bus driver on that line. Yeah.
yeah, that is driverless. There's like Kuzmenko, like 39 goals. It was all scored, and like it was impressive, but it was all scored like with tip-ins and deflections, and PD doing a lot of stuff as well. And then Mikheyev, he's known to get to the areas and not be able to finish and stuff like that. And then Suter, I honestly have no complaints about Suter though.
No, I
Like
love the way
he's
Suter
not
plays.
supposed to set up. Yeah, I think honestly our PK has been absolutely nuts too since he came back as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not
No.
complaining about him, but as a second line, there is obviously complaints to be made.
Yeah, there's some more to be desired there for sure for a second line because here's the thing, right? Like hypothetically, when the Canucks are in the playoffs, and like there's starts to become some footage on the lotto line and how to like shut down Miller, Besser, and Pedersen, and the team are playing. Let's say it's LA. LA just has Philip Deneau just shutting down that line night in and night out, and then we just have
Yeah, and
nothing.
Kopitar,
Like
you
yeah, or
should have both of
Kopitar.
them.
Exactly. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get that line going and Kuzmenko as a whole going as well. It's nice to see. I will say this about Andrei Kuzmenko. I know he got benched in the Coyotes
Oh, okay,
game.
I
We
was
didn't bring this
gonna
up
say you never
because
mentioned that. Yeah,
yeah. This guy gave a deep dish delivery fucking handheld pizza to Clayton Keller like right away, and I was like, as soon as he made that pass, man, I'm like, there he goes. He's not playing for the rest of the game, and sure enough, he didn't.
surely he should not be allowed to play after that.
Yeah, might have to get his eyes checked. But it was
That's
just nice that
crazy.
Talkett went back to him though for the Leafs game. He literally said in an interview, he said, "You know what? Like I just have a feeling like it's gonna work itself out essentially." So the fact that he's still like going back to him, um, I just hope that shows Kuzmenko that the coach has some confidence in him still. Like he still trusts him to a certain extent.
Yeah, I guess, but still, at this point, the worry is like, what are we gonna do with him? Like the trade looming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like they're not going to throw him under the bus. Talkett's not that kind of guy. Maybe Jim Rutherford. No, Jim Rutherford even said like he respects. Like I think he had a little interview with Drance maybe, and
Mm.
he was talking about like him getting it going. And he even mentioned like he would either get it going in Vancouver or another city. Still believes in him.
Yeah.
And then Talkett as well. And it's not just like I think it's. I was not. I don't think anyone hasn't talked about it. It's not just the goal scoring. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's the lack of effort, the forecheck and stuff like that.
Which I
I know
get
he
on
had that.
Talkett's side.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
by far, especially when he's trying to get the whole team to like buy in.
Yeah.
And so if he's not doing it, like at this point, it's going well for us. So we do have that longer leash to give him.
Yeah.
And like maybe comes back after the All Star game, refreshed, stuff
Mhm.
like that. Maybe I think even like I know it's not that is going to help the forecheck, but like him just getting a couple goals would help out too. Because like he's not getting any offense, anything going on that side either.
Yeah.
And he's got off the top power play as well again. We got
Yeah.
Pia Suter there, the stop gap,
Again,
I
like
guess.
why is it Suter? Why is it not Garland?
Talkett by the way is now the favorite against the field to win the Jack Adams. So I
Yeah.
mean, we can't argue with the guy, but
You
that
know
one
what?
I want to
No.
argue a little bit about
Yeah.
why Pia Suter is
Yeah,
on
I
that
know.
top power play.
That's what I have a tough time with sometimes. The other thing too, speaking of what you just said with Kuzmenko, this is the only gripe I have with Talkett. When Kuzmenko came back from the break, I believe he had like back-to-back games where he scored some goals. I believe it was against Florida and the Lightning. Yeah, it was against the Panthers and Panthers and the Lightning. He scored goals in those games. And he just seemed to have like that aura, that confidence, that Kuzmenko confidence, where he's got the long hair flowing from his bucket. He's tipping shots. He's smiling. He's eating bananas on the bench. And within those games, like Tocchet takes him out and benches him in the third because he wasn't forechecking in those games, supposedly, which is fair. But that's when I
Supposedly.
saw that glimpse of Kuzmenko from the past season where I'm like, oh, he might have it now. Just that little lightning in a bottle, and then he's good to go. And obviously it didn't work then, and it still hasn't worked now. So hopefully they can figure it out here. It's starting to get a little bit more than just worrisome. There's got to be some trade coming up or something if it doesn't
Yeah.
get sorted out soon here.
Just with how the cap works and stuff like that, and we're gonna have to trade a roster player to get probably a great player as well like that. It seems like it's gonna have to be either Kuzmenko leaving, like Mikheyev could leave as well, which I wouldn't hate, to be completely honest. It has to be one of them. Obviously, there's one preferred over the other, but at this point, I just want to mention,
Yeah.
because I think Talk mentioned while he's talking about Kuzmenko, he's talking about one player that does buy in and does do everything right, Hoglander.
Yes.
Because I think Pravi's not once again here because he wants to duck the Podkolzin take, but Podkolzin's not untouchable, but Hoglander just might be.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's under team control, he's an RFA, like, and he's just absolutely going off.
And
Because
Hoglander is sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna he is probably gonna be part of trade rumors.
Yeah,
Just because
yeah.
the player he has in the cap and stuff like that. But I don't think like he might be untouchable at this point.
I think he has to be because Hoglander is a guy that was getting scratched consistently at the start of the year, and I believe us as well as many other Canucks fans that are big Hoglander fans were just so confused as to why he kept getting scratched, why he was getting no games, no minutes, and he scratched and clawed his way to this moment where now again he scored 2 goals in this game against the Leafs, and now he has 14 on the year with very limited ice time. Like he makes his shifts worthwhile every time. So yeah, I
Yeah,
do
I
think
don't think he's got any ice time too. I can't even think of
no,
any time he's even experimented in the top six with him.
yeah, he was a
Maybe
little bit,
once with Miller Besser.
yeah, and Pedersen a couple times as well, but only for like a few shifts here and there. But yeah,
Okay, but
no,
yeah, just what he's showing and stuff like that. Like, I still don't like to call anyone really untouchable, just
mhm.
because I don't want to do the. I'm not going to do the Alvin impression again. But even Gretzky was traded.
Yeah,
At some point, like no one's untouchable, just because you got to
mhm.
see what you get. But there's a lot of I don't know, options. I'll say for Alvin and Rutherford, what they can do, what's open, who's on the market, what we need, and I'm just so glad we have just utmost faith in those guys.
Oh
Because
yeah.
Benning would have been an absolute nightmare during this situation.
Speaking of a lot more options for these guys, there's going to be a lot of trades, a lot of competitive stuff happening with Jim Rutherford and Alvin and Co. because Jimmy Rutherford got
Oh
extended by
yeah,
Francesco Aquilini for 3 years. Listen to that segue. That was incredible.
perfect. If you're listening in, he's got a giant smile on his face right now. Pretty much almost patting himself on the back.
Yeah,
Right?
basically. I made the big time now.
Congrats to Jim Rutherford, though. Well deserved.
Truly, yeah. And it
Absolutely, what a
just
turnaround for the. Sorry, I think I got cut out there. Just an absolute turnaround on the franchise. Like this one absolutely goes highly on him.
yeah. No, I was just gonna say like yeah, truly well deserved. And it just kind of solidifies I believe it solidifies like talks with Pedersen as well right now. I think it shows like, oh hey, Rutherford's gonna be here. We're gonna try to be competitive for these next few years. And I just hope maybe it kind of shows Pedersen like, hey, like there's a commitment into building a contender here year after year after year. So maybe it'll make him decide to want to stay long term. But the other
Yeah.
thing too, and this isn't like clickbait or anything like that. He said this unprompted. I don't think this is going to be the case. But like Rutherford's the kind of guy, he said in this interview where like, if they're not able to sign Pedersen, he's not afraid of like doing a trade. You know what I mean? And I as a Canuck fan, obviously you don't even want to think about that, but he did say that. He alluded to that in this interview. And I think sometimes Rutherford just kind of just says shit off the cuff, and he's just he literally said like what was it last year? He's like sometimes I gotta keep my mouth shut, and it's like yeah he probably
That's a
should have
pretty
kept
good
quiet for
Rutherford.
that there. I know my Rutherford's real good. um, but yeah, no, I just like that we have this guy at the helm in case things do go south with that. Um, I will say though, these people that are like scared about Pedersen, what did he say at the start of the year, Gunny? Tell me what he said.
He said he just wants to focus on the season.
What is he doing?
I think he's focused on the season.
Exactly. Why are we having these talks? They're so stupid. Like, he doesn't want to talk about it. Leave him alone. Okay. That's my little Tim Robinson for you there. But it's just,
Was
yeah.
that? No, that was that leave Brittany alone guy.
No.
That's
It's
why.
when he's, this is going to be a little off the rails here, but when, he's doing like the mime stuff and he's like telling all those guys, like all the frats and everybody to leave him alone. He's like, if
Oh,
you like old stuff, come to see my show. If you're just here to
yeah. One
talk.
thing to know about me and Dryden, we love Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
Probably two of the biggest
Uh,
fans out here. There's Canucks and then Tim Robinson.
Hopefully Tim's listening.
I will say about Rutherford though, very tight ship. We did not hear a word about the Horvat trade. We didn't
Yeah,
hear a word about the Roenick trade. We're not
yeah,
going to hear a word about the Pedersen other than little sound bites. So I don't worry about it because I know I'm not going to get any. I'm not going to get any information about it until
yeah,
it just happens or something happens at least.
yeah.
And we got good stuff to look forward to, anyways.
Exactly. And I just like, Pedersen said what he was going to do, and he's doing just exactly that. He's focusing on the season. And I mean, as an individual, does it not make the most sense to focus on this year to have another back-to-back 100-point season? Which, by the way, no Swedish-born players ever done a back-to-back 100-point season.
Shocking. That is
Absolutely
actually such a
wild.
shocking fact.
I was thinking about it like the other day when I heard this stat. There's the likes of Peter Forsberg, Matt Sundin, Henrik Sedin. No one had a back-to-back 100-point year. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, no, that is shocking that he would actually be the first Swedish player to do that.
Yeah.
That is
Um, but again, it just makes so much sense for him to again bank on having another unreal year with playoffs involved too. Like Nylander just got paid 11.5 million. Pedersen keeps playing the way he is. He has the utmost like right in saying, "Hey, I can get paid 12 mil or more." He might be even the 13 range. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but just
yeah.
people got to stop talking about it cuz he's doing
We'll
exactly
stop
what he
talking
said.
about it then.
Yeah.
Okay, let me talk about Tyler Myers though, because that guy once a year he makes it worth it for us. That
Yeah.
was the Duncan Keith hit where he absolutely smoked Duncan Keith. 10 years in the making, absolutely perfect for every Canuck fan to watch. We still watch it to this day. And then last season he smokes Tavares, just absolutely levels him. And that was just beautiful to watch. And
It
then
was.
this year he gets his money's worth. He makes the $6 million right here, where he headlocks Riley because they're in a little scrum because Riley got cross checked. 100% was a cross check, whatever happens. But he's got Riley in the headlock. And then while he's doing that, Tavares comes up and he absolutely tries to take his head off.
Yeah.
Just throws a bomb. Like
Yeah.
if that connected, he would have been out. Like because Myers, I don't know what got into him, but he absolutely threw one. And I just absolutely love Myers for that, just because I don't know what got into him that day.
Well, you usually just don't see him in that many scrums. Like he is in there, like protecting Demko and stuff. But last night there was something in the water, something in the punch, man. Like he was again. It was just such an incredible scene because he's holding two Maple Leafs with him. He's going at
Yeah.
Tavares like he was literally like the Incredible Hulk, man. So many fucking Leaf players on him, and yeah. No, you know what? As far as entertainment value last night, again, it's not probably the most complete game, and Talkett might not be like super happy with the way that game ended up turning out. But from an entertainment value, that was a really fun game to watch through and through.
I think Talkett had a quote afterwards about the resilience of the team, though, because
Yeah,
when you do get pumped three, and then they got the goal from Tyler Bertuzzi called off because he 100% kicked that for some reason. I don't know
yeah,
why. He straight up just booted that. No
yeah, yeah,
questions asked. And then there was a little scrum there as well.
yeah,
That was an issue. But uh, then for the team, because I think it was a power play right after for Toronto. So they
yeah.
have the chance as well. But the Canucks still stuck with it. Garland gets that go ahead goal. Then they let the shorthanded one go, which was
Hmm.
an abs. That seemed like a backbreaker, not going to lie.
Yeah,
But
it
then to
did.
get the two power play goals and stuff like that and actually close out the game,
Hmm.
perfect.
Well, yeah, resilient and just again, even in the Coyotes game and this Toronto game, like it kind of just showed me that like we're tough enough to handle like what comes out of like bigger players and like power forwards like coming at our goalie, coming at our defense. Like our defensive line is so big that this team can hold their own. Like, we're strong enough, and like, how the Leafs always have that problem of, or it seems like it's always a headline, or like they're like soft players and they don't really compete. So then like Tree Living feels pressured. He goes out and gets a guy like Ryan Reeves because he thinks that's what the Leafs need. And it's like, I don't feel like the Canucks need that. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need Jordan Greenway on this team. Go get a skilled
Jordan
player.
Greenway. Go get us Gensel.
Yeah, get us Gensel, get us Lindholm.
Get us Tommy Novak. 42 minutes into the pod, I can talk about him.
Yeah,
Scored
42
a
minutes
goal.
in. Hopefully
Pretty
Aaliyah's
sick.
listening still and she's going to get mad at you again.
That one I'm calling Tommy Novak. I'm actually so excited for the trade deadline though.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just us yelling about like that. What it usually was us yelling rebuild or retool. What do we do? So now it's just like, well, full on. Let's buy. Let's see what's out there, what we can get.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, knowing Rutherford, I could see him making 2 big trades need be, because he can do the big top 6 guy, obviously, and then I think he could add another defenseman if he needed as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he definitely can. Who was I saying it to? I was talking to Prabby about this actually, but there's all this talk about getting this top 6 guy and like Elias Lindholm, Gensel, or just Eriksson X out there too, but it sounds like that might not happen as well, obviously. Just bringing Tanev home, man. I would love. Think about the morale on this team right now, and like, you want to make sure the guy you're bringing in is good for the locker room, because everybody's clicking right now, right? Like, even though Kuzmenko's having his struggles, like, the team still loves Kuzmenko and they still support him, and like, he's still in all the hugs and everything. You know what I mean? Not that he wouldn't be. It just, he still seems like he's having a good time even though he's getting benched. Like, you bring in Tanev, this is a guy that would have Pedersen and Hughes over for dinner. They would play chess. He's literally team dad. He would also like be with Besser too. Like, having that guy, that's just like a second wind boost of morale for the rest of the season.
A little poetic too. He's the only 2011 guy if he came back.
Yep.
That
Yep.
would be okay. We're here for stories.
Yeah, right? Oh man. And I would just think of that, man. You know what? Actually, okay. I'm knocking on wood right now, okay? We win the cup. The first person Hughes passes it to is Chris Tanev.
I'm
Cheers.
not discussing.
Cheers.
I'm not discussing who's handing the cup out to who. All right. I want game 1 of playoffs. Me shaking. All right.
Oh, I still will be. Don't worry. But yeah, I had to put that in there. Yeah, no, we'll have to see who Vancouver gets. It'll be very exciting to see who they get for trade deadline, who's in the mix, and yeah. One thing I quickly wanted to mention is just a little tidbit from around the league. As far as leaders go in points right now, Nathan McKinnon sits at the top of the NHL with 77 points. Saturday morning, he plays against the Flyers. Him and Logan O'Connor both have 2 goals each. He had a 4-point night in this game, by the way, against the Flyers. He's on a 2-on-0. He's had hat tricks before. Nathan McKinnon's an absolute all-star. He gives it to Logan O'Connor selflessly, sorry, and Logan O'Connor gets his first hat trick of the year. So just wanted to congratulate Logan O'Connor.
Wow. That's what you wanted to do.
Dude,
shout
we're
out to
45
Logan
minutes.
O'Connor.
45 minutes.
I just didn't know it would be a shout out to Logan O'Connor.
I don't know. No, well, not even. I guess that is a little weird, but no, I just seeing like, the captain being like, "Hey, I've had these before." Nathan McKinnon clearly could have got some more for his fantasy owners, and he gave it to Logan O'Connor. So it just a nice captain
I
thing
didn't
to
know
do.
that. If I lose my week because of that, I'm gonna yell at Nathan. I'm getting right in the chat.
Yeah. But yeah, and then now, as far as like the week ahead here, the Canucks play 3 games this week, starting with Monday against the Chicago Blackhawks. It's really unfortunate because Connor Bedard won't be able to play this season in Vancouver because of his broken
Not all
jaw.
bad. It's the return of Jason Dickinson.
He's probably gonna
I've
pot
had
a
him.
hattie on us.
Yeah, I've had it marked on the calendar for almost a year now, man. Come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Anthony Beauvillier, the return.
Oh God.
Wow, that's
Must see TV out there.
yeah. Anyways, yeah, so the Canucks play them tomorrow on Monday, and then they're back in action on Wednesday against the St. Louis Blues. Hopefully they get a little revenge there because they started the road trip with a loss to the St. Louis Blues. And then they finish off before the All-Star break against the Columbus Blue Jackets, who was also the only other loss on the road trip. So
Absolute shooters coming into town right now.
yeah. Yeah. So it seems like a pretty good week for Vancouver to kind of just solidify themselves and stay in first or stay up there. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think this will be a nice, hopefully easy way into the All-Star break. And then also, the anniversary of the Talkit hire, I think. It's coming up
Yeah.
soon.
No,
I
I
think he's played a
believe.
full 82, and someone showed his schedule. I think he has like 50 wins in 82 games, so he's actually going nuts.
Yeah, no, Talkett's had just an absolutely incredible year, or first 82. Actually, Prabby posted this. He has the fourth best record in the league behind the Bruins, Avs, and Golden Knights. Edmonton's right behind the Canucks. Yeah, with the 82nd game, Rick Tocchet is 51, 23, and 8, 110 points. So, yeah, the guy's
Hell of
definitely
a
winning
record.
the Jack Adams there. I almost said Jeff Adams.
I would have roasted you for it. I'm glad you didn't. The Greg
Um,
Adams.
Greg Adams.
We're that far into the pod. Right? So
No one's listening here, man. Don't worry. But they should
Greg
listen to
Adams is
this.
like, cool. Okay, say it.
47 minutes in here. After the All-Star break, this is also from Jeff Patterson. Canucks will have 33 games remaining. 4 are against the LA Kings. 3 are versus the Winnipeg Jets and the Vegas Golden Knights. 2 are against the Colorado Avalanche and the Boston Bruins. And then they have 1 more each against the Edmonton Oilers, Dallas Stars, and Carolina Hurricanes. Half of their games stand to be against playoff type teams, sorry. So the next half of the season after the All-Star break is going to be some pretty heavy hockey and competitive hockey for Vancouver. It'll show, in my opinion, just where this team can officially be at. I don't like they might have a couple of stretches that are going to be tough there for them to stay where they are currently, but
Definitely. I think that would be. I think we have like so many games at home in March and April as well. So it'll be nice because we'll have competitive games, but at least we won't be a lot of travel and tire during the run to the playoffs.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I'm hoping, having the home ice advantage should help Vancouver in these games. But yeah, no, that's what Vancouver's got going on, man. Still top of the league. It's nice.
Easily.
Don't got to scroll
Expected
down
now.
on my score app. It's beautiful.
All right,
But yeah,
toss the outro here. I got
you want me
nothing left.
you
I
got
got
nothing
nothing.
left? Okay.
I've been waiting 2 minutes for that outro.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys again so much for listening. You could follow our TikTok and our Instagram at WhatTheNuckPod and our YouTube channel. And what's the other one?
Oh, I have no
Oh,
clue.
we chalked it. Anyways,
Or Twitter?
the YouTube channel
Instagram,
is at
TikTok.
WhatTheNuckPod. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you next
No,
Sunday.
I'm out. I'm out.